Oh, hi there. Sorry about that. I was a little preoccupied by this Mattel's electronic football from my youth. And oh, I should, before I proceed any further, at the risk of everyone else that hasn't already swiped away, by letting you know, obviously, you're wondering where's Danny? Why is this weirdo? Why am I watching this guy?
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling.
Well, you're not wrong. This is Danny's 12 Again Sports and Outdoors channel. You haven't made that mistake, and hopefully it'll actually turn out to be something good, as that's kind of what Danny's point is, by offering other channels in the community the opportunity to quote unquote hijack his channel. So actually, that sounds a little more nasty and vicious than it really is, because Danny has so graciously given other channels the opportunity to appear on his channel in order to, I think, promote community unity, give other channels in the community exposure, and helping the community grow. And I've always been, when I started in the community almost 3 years ago, Danny was one of the channels that I really have enjoyed. And the whole concept of being 12 again, it just appeals to me, because 12 for me was 1980, 79, 80. And I'm going to show some cards and some other neat little items from that time zone. So stick around. Danny's calling this the 5-pack hijack. So I'm going to do some rips for you, five packs, as the as the title would lend you to believe. And yeah, let's get 12 again, sports and outdoors. Oh, by the way, my name is Rob Sagady. I'm also known as the commenting collector, and and it's time to get 12 again. Welcome back, y'all. No. That's just not going to work. I was thinking of maybe doing a Danny impersonation, but the problem with that is, in order to do a good impersonation, you normally can't sound like the person. So if I did a Danny impersonation, I mean, no one would even know I was doing the impersonation, because they would just think, I sound like I normally do. So that's just not going to work. I'm sure y'all agree with that. But I should remind everyone again, and because you're probably confused by even the sound. I'm sure even if I'm not doing an impersonation, I probably sound exactly like Danny does. But rest assured, this isn't Danny from 12 Again Sports and Outdoors. My name is Robert Sagady. I'm also, or maybe even better known as the commenting collector. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Danny, as I mentioned in the opening, has been so gracious in allowing me to share his channel. And, pop culture and collecting was something that I really enjoyed doing when I was 12. And we're talking, late 70s, early 80s, in that era. And I've kind of carried that tradition on to my channel as well. Although I wasn't as clever as Danny was to name my channel that, but it's still cool to do a tribute to that time in my life. And in fact, when Danny asked me to do this for a second year in a row, I'm like, yeah, of course. What is that, a trick question? Of course I'm going to do it if there's a spot open. So yeah, so here we are, and I'm going to show you. We're gonna rip the packs. We're going to save that to the end. But first, I wanted to show you some of the pop culture collectible items that I have, and again, that I like to show on my channel. But, well, you already saw the Mattel's Electronic Football. How about this? How about this Dynamite magazine? Quite can't remember what year I got this. This is I think I had a subscription to this. I was probably around 10, 11, 12 years old in the late 70s. And this one was cool because I was able to have Jimmy Walker, Kid Dynamite, JJ himself, actually sign this and personalize it to me. I think I did this a couple years ago. Mr. Walker is currently still out there on the comedy circuit. That's kind of how he cut his teeth before getting the gig on Good Times in the mid-70s. So now he's reverted back to his comedy days, and I was lucky enough to see him when he came to town, and did a little autograph session after, and I had brought this along.
I almost stepped on it.
You almost stepped on it.
Can I do your fist bump?
At least it was the other side.
All right, man.
And yeah, I think it's great. Love the show. And what's cool about this for the card community is that there's actually some 1974 style cards on the back. And it looks like they're one of ones. Chicago Hawaiians, Bruce Easley, catcher. Babalu, the Syracuse Schnauzers. Pretty cool. The Cleveland Hockey Pucks. You got Ben Dover. Yeah, I mean, that's your 12-year-old humor right there. Sandy Beach. Jeez, 12-year-old humor. I don't know about that. The Catcher's Mitt from the Montana Dolphins. Pennsylvania Turnpikes. You had Clark Barr. And he played way outfield, I guess. Had to play deep. Remember the Clark Barr? That was cool. Look at this. Look at this pose. This is Tadpole from the Boise Scouts. Shortcake was his position. So yeah, that kind of 12-year-old humor back in the day. But I think it's cool that they had the 74 design on there. Also, I'd like to share with you and this is cool. I think this is a box of tattoos. I think it's 24. There's probably 24 packs in here at one time. They cost $0.25 a piece. And this was 1981. So there's your bazooka. And what struck me is I think that looks like Danny on the package. So I don't know if that was Danny or not. As you can see, he was getting into his tattoos early in life. A lot of people don't realize, because I think Danny doesn't like to show it off because he usually wears long sleeves, but Danny actually is completely sleeved with tattoos on both arms. So maybe this is how he got his early start. So even though I couldn't, I hijacked the channel today from Danny, I thought it'd be cool that he made an appearance. So there's Danny. During that time era, non-sports, pop culture, still love that stuff today. But here's kind of how I got my start. Wacky packages. Here's a wrapper. Got the ring pop. They still make those today. Love the wacky packages. That was pretty naughty type of card. It's probably similar to the Garbage Pail Kid type of humor that they had in the 80s. So I really enjoyed those. I actually had a Wacky Packages sweatshirt that I wore to school, probably much to the dismay of my teachers. Somehow my parents allowed me to wear it, but that was pretty fun. Here's just some random non-sports from that time era. Yeah, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think this was 1981. Yeah, I collect unopened, a lot of unopened packs and stuff. You'll see that on my channel. And I know a lot of you are sports oriented. So yeah. So in 1980, Topps came out. I was actually 12 years old. And so that was one of my first sets that I built by just buying packs at the good old drugstore. And all these are, well, I don't know if they're all. I've been getting a lot of help from the community, help because I'm pretty darn close to completing the set in all these years after. But a lot of these cards were cards that I originally bought at the store and pulled them from the packs. So I just want to show you there's a ton of Hall of Famers in the 1980 tops. I'll just rifle through them quick. These are all Hall of Famers. And they're all really good condition, pretty much so. Because we were taking care of cards pretty much back in 1980. Started putting them in plastic sheets and whatnot. George Brett was one of my favorites because this is actually the year 1980 where he batted 390. So yeah, I really became one of my favorite players after doing that. Here's Reggie. Of course, Nolan Ryan with the Angels. Broke my heart when my Twins traded Rod Carew, another one of my heroes, to the Angels. But what are you going to do? Not a Hall of Famer, but since he has passed, I think it won't be long before Pete does duly get enshrined as the all-time hit leader. Gaylord Perry, McCovey. I mean, 1980, awesome year. Dave Winfield. And what's better than one? Two is better than one. Shout out to my friend Andy over at Andy's Attic. Love the kid. Eddie Murray. Shout out ripping for Rutschman's. Carlton Fisk. Shout out to all my Boston Brotherhood. Carlton. Bench. Cash Cards. Dave. All the Reds guys. And here's the best for last. I never pulled this card as a kid of 12. In fact, I didn't get this card until last year. When you talk about community love, you got to talk about Doug, Video Guy 316, who actually gifted this to me. Yeah, amazing. So yeah, thanks, Doug. All right, so that's a little taste of my childhood, and now we're going to get into the ripping. These are all courtesy of Danny, who, man, out of his generosity, and I guess that's the key word in this community is generosity.
My name is Danny, and this is 12 Again Sports and Outdoors.
Christmas ornament. And this is a Dodgers. I'm not even going to pronounce his first name. His last name is Kim. And full disclosure, I really haven't been following baseball much in the last several years. So as I rip these packs, I'm probably not, the modern packs that is, I'm not going to know a lot of these players, and I'll probably butcher their name. I do know the Dodgers won another World Series, but this time they were pushed to 7 games by the Toronto Blue Jays. And I believe the Milwaukee Brewers had a better record than the Dodgers did in the regular season. So what will probably happen is the Dodgers will probably need to, through free agency, they're going to probably have to sign, the best player available. In fact, I think there's another Japanese super stud that's available. So look for the Dodgers to give them, $1 billion. So
sarcasm when you hear it.
But anyway, I won't rant anymore on that subject. But I'm going to start with the newest packs first. So let's get happy here, because we're talking 2025 holiday packs, 10 cards a piece. So I've got 2 of those. Then I've got a 2025 Donruss, a 2021 Topps, and then the big one for me, 1990 wax packs. So we're going to go newest to oldest and see what we can get. I'm going to try to rip them the conventional way, and if not, I've got a scissors to help me out. Oh, here we go. I don't do a lot of ripping on my channel, but I occasionally do. So this is really fun. Oh, Fernando Tatis actually Jr. and I remember his father, Jacob DeGrom. And if you guys see any variations or whatever, let me know. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out on them. I know DeGrom was with the Mets. He was really good. I'll try to get through these quick. Oh, Seattle Mariners. Ryan Bliss, not familiar, but I know Vintage Dave T is. Ramos with the Giants. It's another Red Sox. Shout out to Picker Jim, Hugo, Eric, Card Closet, Xander Bogaerts, former Red Sox. Oh, another shout out again to Ripping for Rutschman's. If you're not subscribed or not aware of Alan's channel, he needs more subscribe. I don't know if he needs them. He probably doesn't care, but I know he's got a really good channel, and he's kind of low, has a low subscriber count. Not that that really matters, but just the point is, if you're not familiar, go over to Ripping for Rutschman's. I mean, this is kind of the point that I think Danny is making by sharing his channel with everyone. So yeah, Ripping for Rutschman's. That's a cool card. Wow, Paul Skeens. This is his rookie cup. And again, I'm not following it, but I know that the hype on Skeens is so much you couldn't avoid, even if you're not really following baseball. So yeah, let me know if this is a good one, or it's just maybe a base and it's worthless. But at least I know the player. Oh, shout out all the Pirates fans, and especially Andy's Attic. And last one for this pack, Mr. Drew Thorpe of the White Sox, rookie card. Shout out Hobby Brigade, Dre Diaz, Mr. and Mrs. Diaz. Okay. And I apologize if I'm kind of slow rolling this. I know Danny's videos are probably a lot, or everyone in the community's videos are shorter than mine, but so I'll try to speed it up. Try to be a good guest here. The Rockies, Brenton Doyle, excuse me. And again, I'm probably not going to notice any cool cards or holiday. Another rookie card. Houston Astros. Shout out Barry and New and Old Rips. Lance over there. Another great channel. Jackson Job. Tigers. Shout out BK Maxwax Stacks. All right, Bo Bichette, another guy I'm familiar with. I remember his father Dante, and a lot of Blue Jays fans in the community. Shout out to all you guys, all my Canadian brothers. Oh, speaking of big communities, Dansby Swanson. I know he is former Brave, so I know there's a lot of Braves fans too. Adam's Card Closet, Zach's Sports Cards. Of course, all the Cub fans. Sports Card Ripping Teacher. Vintage Card Steve. Basement Card Collector. A lot of them. Great stuff. Lawrence Butler of the Athletics. Now they're in Vegas, I guess. Jazz Chisholm Jr. Yankees. Victor Negron. Mr. 95 Cents, Angry Old Man, a lot of Yankee fans in this community as well. Oh, Alan, this is your pack, because now you got a Jackson Holiday, ripping for Rutschman's. Now you got a Jackson Holiday, and I always love getting the holiday, the Jackson Holiday with the holiday pack. It's always some kind of symmetry with that. Dylan Cease, Padres. I remember when I was following baseball a little more, I believe he was with the White Sox. Oh, here's the prettiest card I've got so far. Matt Strom. Nicky 2 times. I know he's a big Philly fan. Look at the pretty pretty colors on that. Shiny, sparkly. So that was last card magic on that pack. And again, if there's any what do they call it? Variations or low population or whatever the term is, let me know. We're going to move on. Donruss. I remember back in 1981, Donruss and Fleer came back into the baseball scene by having those 81 sets. And for a longest time, it was just Topps. So, and then I guess it's Panini owns Donruss. And so let's see what we get in here. 15 cards. We got Travis Bazana on the cover. He must be the hot prospect. And again, if I butcher these names, that's just because I'm not familiar with them. Don't hold that against me. And I knock the camera over as I'm ripping this pack. All right. Oh, Jake Arrieta. Yeah, his Cubs. I remember he had some really good years with the Cubbies back then. Actually, I saw him in spring training when he was with the Orioles. That's where he got his start, and he actually signed my program. And yeah, with the Orioles, and then he went over to the Cubs. Got the glare. Jace Young or Jace. I think it's probably Jace Young or Jace Young. He's a rated rookie, so hopefully he'll be a good one. Ian Kinsler, 3 Good Nerds. See, these must be like throwback cards because I know a lot of these. Austin Wells, again with the Yankees. I think Mr. 95 Cents Joe Giordano's talked about him.
White guy, but he had the Rastafarian. He was a white guy with the braids.
Again, they don't have the license. That's why it's the generic uniform. Oh, there we go. Jim Kitty Cott. Loving this one. Hall of Famer. He won like 14 Gold Gloves as a pitcher. He's amazing. Plus, he was a great broadcaster with the Twins and then Yankees as well. Who was this one? Oh, Pee Wee Reese. I know all the Yankee fans would love this one. That's awesome. What does the back say on these things? Oh, pretty cool. Brooklyn Dodgers. What's this one? Luis Angel Acuna, shortstop. I wonder if he's related to the Braves Acuna. Might be his brother. Edgar Martinez, Hall of Famer, DH. Again, shout out vintage Dave T. Hopefully we get a Sonny Gray. I could shout out Danny. Rated rookie. Kalen Culpepper. Got the purple on. Kind of reminds me shades of Dante Culpepper. Selected in the first round by Minnesota. Okay. Another Minnesota connection. Wonder if he is related to old Dante Culpepper out of, I believe, Southern Florida. Oh, David Ortiz, former Twin, but of course he went on to greatness with the Red Sox. Shout out to Peter B. Another great channel. If you like the vintage T206 and all those pre-war cards, Peter B, great channel. Poppy, the big Poppy. Oh, this is a shiny, sparkly card. Tony Doggy Perez. Again, shout out to my Cincinnati Reds faction out there. Cash Cards, Dave. A lot of Reds fans out there, and for good reason. The Big Red Machine, is Tony Perez was part of that. Nice card. Very cool. Adam Wainwright. I wonder if he, I don't know. Hall of the Very Good. I mean, 200 career wins. Is it enough to get him into the Hall of Fame? Love to hear your impressions in Danny's comments. Look at this one. It's a rated rookie. Blake Burke of the Brew Crew. Shout out Lee, Criterium Racer. Big Brewers fan. And last but not least, for the 25 Donruss, Panini, Ryan Waldschmidt. And I can't even tell what team he's on. Arizona. Okay. All right. Let's get on to the 2000. We're going back now a little. Here, 2021. Okay. Tops. Again, appreciate this, Danny, giving us the opportunity to rip some packs. Oh, Fernando Tatis on the back. That's a good one in 2021. I know he was the hottest thing since sliced bread when he came up. Don't know if that's continued. Oh, this guy's continued. Here he had of course, he had the great genes, being Vlad Guerrero's son. Big prospect, and saw that he was in the World Series. So yeah, that's nice. 2021. So this looks like it been his third year card. Not too shabby. Lamont. Oh, Kyle Lewis. He was a big prospect, Mariners. Vintage Dave T on that one again. So actually, back in the day, like it was real far, but 4 years ago, 2021. Okay, American League Rookie of the Year award winner. Nice. Justice Sheffield. Wonder if he's related to Gary Sheffield. Seems like there's a lot of connections with the names and everything. He's on the Mariners here. He may have, I know he's a pretty big prospect as well. He may have been on the Yankees, but I'm not sure about that. Oh, there's Ronald Acuna Jr. It's a nice card. Again, I don't know if that was his brother that we saw earlier. Someone could put that in the comments if they would like. Yeah, nice. I forget what year his rookie year was, but 2021. That's going back a little. So this probably would have been a desirable card. Dustin May. This was one of the final years I was playing fantasy baseball, and I know Dustin May was a pretty big prospect. I don't know if he's really continued on that all-star track or not, but I always liked his red hair. It's pretty cool. AL hits leader. Nice. You got Trey Turner, Marcell Ozuna, and Freddie Freeman. Shout out Adam's Card Closet. Zach's Sports Cards and Sports Cards, and I think it's just Zach Sports Cards, actually. Lucas Giolito. He was a big-time prospect. Yeah, it'd be fun to see whatever happened to these guys. Yeah, he was with the Nationals, and he got traded. I guess he's already been in the league for a few years by this time. Uh, yeah, shout out Dre, Mr. and Mrs. Diaz again. Oh, Trevor Story, remember him? He was a fantasy monster as a shortstop. Of course, if you play in Colorado, that helps. Ooh, Juan Soto, 466-foot blast. Yeah, he's fun. Then he's with the Yankees now, of course. Yeah, these other teams, yeah, they have him for a little bit. I think he won the World Series with Washington, and then took off to New York for the big money. And another good prospect, like I said, when I opened it, Fernando Tatis Jr. So yeah, I like that orange border. It's pretty sweet. So yeah, some cards at least I recognize and at one time were good prospects. Let me know in the comments if they panned out and maybe held their value. And now, with all due respect to the modern, I mean, this is junk wax, but still, it's 35 years old. So, it's pretty old. And I kind of made a list, did a little homework here. So these are cards that are in the these are key cards from the set. So if we get a Frank Thomas, that's a $90 card if it's in a PSA 10. So for that reason, let me grab. I got some penny sleeves just in case we get a Frank Thomas rookie card, and it could be a 10. Ken Griffey Jr. 10, and that is $72 value. Bernie Williams is in this set, a $75 value. Larry Walker, $40. Neon Dion, Primetime Sanders, $40. And then Swingin' Sammy Sosa would be a $20 card if we got it in a 10. But here's the big thing that we could pull from here. Notable error cards. Frank Thomas, rookie card, no name. Guess what? PSA 9, $17,000. So if this pack hasn't been searched, which I don't know if I'd bet my life on it, but let's just pretend it hasn't, possibly a $17,000 card in here in that Frank Thomas rookie card, no name. And also there it says here in my source says you get a Frank Thomas partial blacklist, which a Frank Thomas blacklist. I don't even understand what that means. I mean, I don't know if we're referring to the Frank Thomas that played in the 50s and 60s. That was a 3-time All-Star as the Frank Thomas blacklist. No, I don't know. I just kind of making fun joke. Oh, there's another great. Last but not least, there's a George Bush card possibly in here, and that one in the PSA 9 is fetching $10,000. So let's hope this pack hasn't been searched and we got a chance to make history here. Spring Fever Baseball. Catch it. There should be the gum in here. It's got Todd Stottlemyre on the back. Okay, these are all flipped around there. Oh, the gum's not looking too bad. I don't know if I should eat it or not. Maybe I will. Oh, it's stuck on there pretty good. Man, it's just, yeah, it's glued on there. I might not be able to eat it. Oh, here it comes. There we go. Sweet. I'll put the gum right there. So these cards are all turned around. Okay, good. So we got the spring. All right. Mickey Tettleton. A lot of Orioles here in these rips today. This is the fifth and final pack, ladies and gentlemen. Again, appreciate it, Danny. This might again be one of your longest videos ever on your channel, which I think I did last year as well. Dave Lapointe. So far, pretty basic common players. Lee Guterman. Don't say Gutterman. It's Guterman. I think I know how to pronounce these because these are players when I was really, really into baseball. 1990, the Twins had won the World Series in 87, which of course got me going nuts. And then in 91, just 4 years later, they won it again. So this was kind of my big baseball consuming time. Played fantasy baseball. That's a Charlie Hoff. He always looked like he was really older than he was. I mean, but look at all those years. Wow. He had the knuckleball. When was he born? Born 1940, 48. Honolulu, Hawaii. Pretty cool. Jose Oquendo. Alfredo Griffin. He started on the Blue Jays, I believe. Paul Gibson. Look at the glasses. He's a very cerebral player. And if you can't pronounce cerebral, cerebral, you probably aren't very smart. John Farrell, he was a decent pitcher, and he'd go on to manage the Blue Jays. I know. All right. Got a Hall of Famer, Dave Winfield. St. Paul, Minnesota native. Was drafted by the Vikings. Drafted in the NBA. He's drafted, I think he's drafted hockey. And I hear, no, I'm kidding. I think he's drafted in 4 sports though. And then I hear he's a great pickleball player these days. I don't know. Eric Plunk, great name. I know he played on the A's as well. We're running out of time to get the big ones though. Don Robinson. We did get the Winfield, which is nice. Oh, the Gambler, Kenny Rogers. He was decent. I know he made a lot of money. Bob McClure. Wonder if he's related to the Simpsons' Troy McClure.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such self-help videos as Smoke Yourself Thin and Get Confident, Stupid.
Stashy Stash. I don't know if there's anyone in the community that cares about mustaches as much as my friend BK over there at MacWack Stacks. Got 2 more. Rick Honeycutt. Yes, sir. I think he's a pitching coach. And Todd Stottlemyre. Maybe I'll have to cue the Price is Right zonk. So, no, actually, there's no losers here. We're all winners. Again, appreciate it, Danny, giving me the opportunity to be 12 again. And thanks for the opportunity to share your channel. Again, my name is Rob Sagady. I'm better or also known as the Commenting Collector. Appreciate the time I was able to be on this channel, and I utilized as much time as I could. So, everyone, have a great Christmas and holiday season. And, as always, good collecting. I forgot. Here we go. Crunchy. Thanks again, Danny.